What's up, y'all? What's good? Welcome to the What Up Doe Show. It's your boy Dame D, and I am back with another one. I want to welcome everybody to the show, and I want to say happy Saturday to everybody. We're just gonna have a good conversation, good talks about how was your 313 day. How did you guys spend your day? So that's what we're gonna talk about. I got a few guests that's gonna join us, in today's show. And then we still gonna chop it up. We're gonna kind of combine this because we did not do our Freestyle Friday last night, so we kind of going to kind of mix today's talk in with our Freestyle Friday. So what's going on out there, man? Hopefully everybody's having a great Saturday. So like I said, we're gonna talk about how everybody spent their 313 day. So I'm gonna wait for a few people to jump in. Let me make sure that everybody can hear me. Want to say what up, though, to everybody over there on YouTube. What up to everybody on Facebook? What up, though? Yep. So how did you guys spend your 313 day? We're gonna talk about the things that we're gonna talk about the things that the city has to offer, and what you guys did. We're gonna talk about the east side and the west side. What side you claim to be the best side. It's always good conversations, and I'm not gonna say disagreements, but it's just always good conversation, good fun. Talking about the difference between the east side and west side people. So I'm a little bit of blessed. I was born on the east side, but raised and spent most of my life on the west side. So I'm from both sides, so it's a good thing for me. So let me make sure you guys can hear me. And spent most of my life. Okay. So I definitely can be heard. But yeah, man, so like I said, I want to just talk about how you guys spent your day, your 313 day. It was a lot to do out there in the city yesterday. I know a lot of people probably got out, and enjoyed all the festivities, even though the weather was a little chilly yesterday. It was not like how it was, about a week ago when we were in the 70s, But you know how we do in the D, we gonna make the best of it anyway, Yep. So like I said, I got a few people that's coming in. I'm sending out a few invites. Let me see what my boy Real Talk with Big Dave got going on. I'm about to send him an invite. Ain't heard from him in a while. What up, though, Big Dave? If you're watching the show, if you hear this. Yep. So today's conversation is, today's title and conversation was how did you spend your 313 day? How was the city? What did you do in the city? So I know all the clubs and the bars and the restaurants were jumping yesterday. I just want to see what restaurants you guys went to, what side of town was jumping. I know all the parks was jumping. We're gonna talk about, different things like that, the difference between Rouge Park and Chandler Park. Those are debates and conversations that we're gonna have today. The difference between, the east side and the west side. So what were some of the places you guys ate yesterday? A lot of places were offering half off a lot of the meals yesterday. So it was the businesses pretty much were giving back, to the patrons, giving half price off. So I just just want to see how you guys spent your day, what you do throughout the city. Hopefully everybody patron your black owned businesses, and the businesses in general. But definitely, hopefully you guys patron most of the black owned businesses in the city because they definitely need it. I want to give a shout out to, all my subscribers who's definitely been helping the show grow. We are growing. We are, we are on our way. So I need for you guys to continue making sure that you share and you like, therefore the content gets seen, but yeah, the comment section is open. I would love to know how you guys spent your day. What restaurants was jumping. I know Peasy and them through a concert. You had a lot of the rappers that were out in the city yesterday, and that was a good look. How they all showed up and came together. That's what I love about the city. Far as like with the entertainment with the rappers and things like that. They will come together. It's not pretty much too much beefing where you get most of the celebrity rappers that's beefed out and wanting a lot of drama. So we don't have that. We come together when it comes to that. So that's a good thing and that's a good look for the city. So I definitely want to give a shout out to the to the city rappers that, always putting on for the city and putting on the show. So I wanna have a question. A lot of people, and this is for, this is going to be conversation. I really wanted to wait until a few people came in. Let me send out a few more invites before I start talking about. Okay, we got Big Ken coming in. What up, though? What up, though, big dog? Go on and introduce yourself to the show.
What up, though? This Big Hands from the 313. What it do?
What up, though? What up, though? Okay, man. It's a pleasure having you back on the. Okay, Big Ken having technical difficulties. It looked like he went out. So we're gonna wait for him to jump back in, and then we're gonna go on ahead and start up the conversation. His phone might have died out. What is it with black people and having their phones charged up? It's always a problem with us. Keeping our goddamn phones charged up. And I'm not gonna I have it bad with that too. We got to start keeping our phones and shit charged up. Because you would never know when you may need your phone. But I'm gonna wait for Big Ken to come back in. Here we go.
I'm back.
Big dog. Okay. I'm like, we got to start keeping our phones charged up.
No, it wasn't that. I had pressed something by mistake. What's going on?
Okay. All right, well, we got a few people watching. I need for you guys to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Make sure you get the content out. Go in there and introduce yourself again to the show so everybody can know who you is, which they should know by now.
You're right. This Big Hand from the 313. What up, though?
Okay. Again, I want to welcome you to the show. Big Hand, we just talking about the 313 day was yesterday. We just talking about how everybody spent their day. How was your day? How did you spend your 313 day? So give me your thoughts on the city. Give me your thoughts on we got this 313 day that we have every year. And just give me your thoughts and your opinion on how you spend your day and how most people end up spending their day down in the deep. A few comments I'm gonna read off too.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yesterday, it was a lot of
what up, though? Okay.
It was a lot of people having half off on the food specials yesterday, and a lot of people out trying to enjoy the weather. But it was so windy yesterday, But we made the best out of it in the day.
You breaking in and out, but yeah, the weather, like I said, the weather was a lot. It was windy everywhere. You had trees and things like that that was going out. People was out of power, but that don't stop us Detroiters. We still gonna get out and do our thing. So give me your thought. What did you do yesterday? How did you spend your day?
Just chilling with the fam. Like I said, went and grabbed a bite to eat, some breakfast, and did it like that, and just did a little cleaning. Tried to do a little bit of cleaning up, spring cleaning around the house.
Okay. Yeah. All right, I want to ask you a question. Skeeter Mills 218. Let me know what 773 from. What area code is that? But give me your thoughts on the 313 day, man. It's a big thing for the Detroiters. And I'm gonna talk a little bit about the east side and the west side. We all know Woodward divides the east side from the west side. Let's talk about a little things that the city has to offer. Okay, Chicago. Okay, there we go. Okay, I think that might be Cuz. What up, though, Cuz? If that's Cuz. Chicago in the house. But let's talk about how Woodward divides the east side and the west side. And we always have these conversations about which side is the best side. Give me your thoughts on that. Because like I was telling everybody, everybody should know by now. Big Ken is my brother. So give me your thoughts. And your opinion on what do you think east side people is like and what west side people is like, because it's a difference. You know what I mean? You can, when you talk to a person from the east side, you can kind of tell they lingo, versus the people from the west side. So give me your thoughts on, the divide. I'm not gonna say the divide, but the difference between the east side and the west side people.
I would just say ain't too much difference other than east side might be a little bit more hyper. I'm gonna say that. You know what I'm saying? You go to the east side.
They say the west side niggas is about that money. The east side, they get their money too, though, but they're a little bit more, on the I ain't gonna say, the west side people say the east side people is a little on the ratchet side. Give me your thoughts on that, man.
I was born on the east and the west,
Yeah.
so you know I'm a Detroiter, so that's basically what I'm gonna say about that. But it's a difference. I'm gonna say east side might be a little bit more countryer. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? You get over here, it's a little bit more calmer on the west side if you grew up on the east side. I'm gonna say that. Yeah.
Well, explain to people that may not know that part, that may not be from the city. Explain to people what you mean by that.
Growing up on the east side, we I just think that you know that's where I experienced jumping off of garages and flipping on the mattresses and stuff like that. I ain't saying we ain't do that on the west side because we did, but on the east side, it was like when you got up in the morning and you got up with your friends, we was finding something to do active. On the west side, they have more team sports. I'm gonna say like football, team sports, baseball. We didn't have that on the east side, so we made our sports over there.
Well, this
I'm gonna
this is what
say
I
that
will say about that. I'm going to say they didn't have it. I'll just say the area that we were
the
in,
area,
we didn't
yeah,
see that much of that. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Because there were a lot of same thing that they had on the fire sports. They had it on the east
Hmm.
side. We just on the west side. We just were over there off of 8 Mile. We were just in sport. Put this put it this way. Athletic territory. Where you
Right.
where everybody played, all sports, football, basketball, and baseball. So I will say one thing about and I can't take that away from the east side, because they're competitive over there. My opinion, the difference between the east side and the west side. And it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. I say and this is what a lot of people may say. The east, like I said, the east side people may seem a little bit more, I ain't gonna say ratcheter, but they're a little bit more outspoken. They'll speak their mind, put it that way. They won't hold you up. The people on the west side, in my opinion, is a little bit more laid back and reserved. And don't get me wrong, I'm not, and it's not in a bad way that I'm saying that. I'm just trying to, give a people who may not be from Detroit, or trying to give a people, a feel of the Detroit people. But yeah, man, let's talk about the difference between the parks that the people go to between the east side and west side. Give me your thoughts on Chandler Park, man. We spent a lot of time there as young adults, as teenagers. So give me your thoughts on, and this is where most of the people, on the east side, spend a lot of their free time. When we want to get together, hang out. Give me your thoughts on Chandler Park. These are one of the sites that a lot of people in the community go to when they want to have a good time and they want to communicate. Just get out and have a good time with each other. So give me your thoughts on the east side Chandler Park, Vicky.
Growing up on the east side was rough. So we had to go to Chandler Park. We had to walk probably about from my house in Lakewood, where we was at. That's about the S4 freeway. We had to walk probably about a mile to get to Chandler Park. So by the time we got there, we went to the stores and did everything the kids did on the
Yeah,
way.
you talking about it in our younger days, though.
Yeah, at our younger age, because
Right.
right now it's totally different. I'm just sharing
Yeah,
how it
I'm
was.
talking about I'm talking about now in the older days where a lot of the adults go and hang out, and congregate together,
I
at,
mean,
at Chandler Park.
I mean, they don't. It's nice over there now. They don't build Chandler Park up real nice. They got a bigger park over there. Like we used to go over there to go swimming. They had a little park over there when I was a kid. When I was about 10 to 11 years old over there, and we go to Chandler Park swimming. But now they got it built up real nice over there. But what I remember about Chandler Park is it was one way in and one way out.
Yeah.
You
See,
know what I'm saying? So.
well, it
Uh,
depends on what side of the park you were on, because it's an interest on each side. I get what you're saying.
mhm.
It just depending on if you're blocked in, if it's crowded out there. Give me your thoughts on your situation that you had, at Chandler Park years ago. And then we'll get back to that. Give me your thoughts on the difference between, Rouge Park on the west side, where a
Mm.
lot of people hang out. And that's a
I would say
very popular park where a lot of the young adults and adults hang out. Those are one of the sites that you know that people frequently hang out. Those were one of the sites, back in my days when, we used to get out there and hang out at the park, on the west side, Rouge Park, Rouge Park, stay jumping. It's probably jumping right now, so give me your thoughts on Rouge Park.
Rouge Park was where I learned how to swim. They got the big old swimming pool over there. You can go and uh, dive off. And today they had, I think it was like 14, 15 feet. It was real deep. That's where I almost drowned as a kid and learned how to swim real quick
Right,
in Rouge Park. But yeah, Rouge Park is kind of like Belle Isle. Everybody get there, they pull up with their cars and they music and vibe real good on the west side.
right.
Um, yeah, but the West Side Boys is known to pull those things out, and it could get into a little bit of gunplay on the West Side up at Rouge. I'm not saying it won't be like that on the East Side, but it's known for that type of action over here.
I don't know what's
So
going on
you
with the
know,
camera, but yeah, Rouge Park, man. It's always a frequent, park for people to hang out and have a good time.
hmm
It's like the old Belle Isle. I don't know how Belle Isle is now since they've redone it and revamped it. I don't know if a lot of people go there to hang out. So leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think. Is Belle Isle anything like how it used to be maybe about 15 years ago before they redid it? But I know Rouge Park is a place now where the young and middle-aged people go to hang out and have a good time. They get out, they drink, they smoke, and the women are out there, shaking their ass and doing their thing. It's a place for people to congregate and meet up and have a good time and listen to music. You know what I
right.
mean? So it's been a jumping spot for years, and I think that's going to always be a spot in the city for people to go and congregate. It's a lot of fun. It could be a lot of trouble at times. Particularly at nighttime. But for the most part, it's a good part. It's a good time to hang out. Have a lot of fun. During the summer times. You know what I
It's
mean?
most definitely a family park, just like Belle Isle, but it would be considered like a baby Belle Isle on the west side where you can't get to Belle Isle. So
Right.
it's real
Okay.
nice.
So we say what would divide the east side and the west side, and Belle Isle is a park where you have the east side and the west side that comes together, and congregate. It's kind of like you have both sides, the Chatler Park and Rouge Park, all in one. Give me your thoughts on the Belle Isle that once upon a time that used to be jumping. Pretty much it was like the freak Nick every single day. All day, every day. Do you think the change from that to how it is now has benefited the city? Do you think it's a good thing now? How they have reconstructed and did the park? Because I remember many of days, man. During the summer as a teenager, going down to Belle Isle, having a great time. It's a lot of good thoughts and memories. Give me your thoughts on Belle Isle. From then into now.
Belle Isle has always been good memories for me as a teenager. That's where you go. You get your whip, your old school, and you get with your boys. Y'all all get together and follow each other down there. And you see all the pretty black women's black whatever colors down there. But
Yeah.
it was always a good time. Like now, uh, it was always about the giant slide and the different things that they had going on down there. They don't redid all of that, so now Belle Isle is totally different. You can go down there and they redid the little parks, places where you can have your little family reunions, all of that. It's built up real nice down there. If you haven't been to Belle Isle in a minute, you need to go. And
Yeah, that's
yeah,
I definitely got to hit it this summer. I have not hit it in a few years, but that's one of my things to do. This upcoming summer is to hit Belle Isle. It's been a while, man. You know what I mean?
they
But
got restaurants down there,
yeah,
man.
I
It's
heard.
real
I have
nice.
not been there since they did all that.
It,
So that's going to be a good look. And it's been a good look, man. It's brought a lot of people back to the city. Not just black folks. It's bringing all multicultural. Whites, the Arabics. It's just like it's a good thing to for the family. Atmosphere to bring your family to have a good time. I'm not going to say we had took it over and it turned into a jungle in the zoo. It was just a good place for everybody, for both sides to be able to come and meet up and have a good time. But give
now,
me your
now Belle Isle look like I want to say like a melting pot, like almost when we used to go down there, it was like majority blacks. But now you go down there now, you wouldn't recognize it. It's Indians down there, blacks, Mexicans, whites, they don't build it up for everybody. So when you go down there now, it's a whole new Detroit.
Yeah, and that's a good thing,
It is.
it's showing that we a diverse city, that the city, that we welcome all cultures to the city, and it's a good thing going forward. You know what I mean? I love how they've revamped and built the city back up, because at one point the city was tore down and it was fucked up, so that's one good thing about what they done with Belle Isle and how they revitalized the city. Give me your thoughts on all the restaurants, man, that we get down there from Greektown. You even have a lot of black owned, restaurant and businesses down there. We're just talking about the, 313 there, the things that the city has to offer. Give me your thoughts on some of the restaurants, for those that may not be in the city, if they're deciding to come to the city. Give people, a few pointers on what restaurants they may want to check out or they may want to attend. Give them a few spots.
Man, you know what? I would suggest that they get on their directory and look up all the restaurants downtown Detroit because there's so many new restaurants right now. I like Texas de Brazil right down there on Woodward. You can go in there and pay one time to eat all the meat, all the beef, all the lamb, all the meat you ain't ever had in your life. And then they got a salad bar, I think, for an extra $40. So for $80, it was an experience. If you ain't never been there, go to Texas de Brazil. It was definitely an experience for me.
And that's over on the east side, right?
Downtown, yeah.
Okay.
Well, right in the middle, right in the heart of downtown.
Give people a spot over on the west side where to go, where they can go. Where it's good food, fun, and spirits. One of my favorite spots, that I love to go and sit down and eat is Lily Mays out there on the west side. But my favorite spot, to frequent, where the culture is good is I like Starters on Plymouth, on the west side, the original Starters. You know what I mean? That's a good spot, for people to go.
Most definitely. You can always go in there and get a good Detroit vibe.
So I know that probably was jumping yesterday. I missed that. Where to go in there and get great steak bites, good drinks, and things like that. So man, it's a lot to offer, man. Like I said, Lily Mays is a good spot now out there. Out in Southfield, if you want to go and have a good meal, some good Southern, soul food. Give me your thoughts and your experience, on some of the restaurants out there. Like Lily Mays, Starters. To name a few. On the west side.
I mean, you got Motor City. You can't deny Motor City. They got some of the best soul food.
Motor City is one of the top soul food places out there too.
They might be a little expensive, but it's worth it. If you going for the experience and the taste, I'm gonna say that. You got a lot. Like I said, it's Detroit back banging as far as restaurants. We always been known for our food. But it's a lot of restaurants that I haven't been to that. Like if you go on Instagram and Facebook, you will see they on there. Like you just gotta be looking and you will find them.
Right. And you know what I like too, Big Ken, what I talked about before you came in, I said I like the rappers kind of got together Friday. I think they did a show at I believe I forget the name of the little bar or the club, Brenda's or something like that. But they all got together. They were showing their cars, man. One thing I like about the rappers from the city, they're not beefed out. They all come together as one, and rep the city, man. Give me your thoughts on that, man. You had Peasy, you had Doug Fortu, you had Vez out there, man. You had the whole squad out there. Give me your thoughts, on how they hold the city down, man. And come together as one, because you see a lot of rappers from a lot of these cities, man. They all beefed out, fighting amongst each other, shooting and killing, but we don't get that from the rappers in Detroit, man. It's like that's one thing
we ain't never had no issues with one another.
So give me your thoughts on that, bro.
I feel like we ain't never had no issues with one another. It's always been love. Big Sean and other rappers from Detroit that's always showing support with the kids and everything else. 4-2 Doug and all those guys. They try to support one another at the end of the day. I do realize that. So, there's just a lot going on. There's a lot of female rappers in Detroit right now. There's a lot of people don't know about that I just got put up on. So yeah, we doing things as far as the rappers in Detroit.
Man, listen, the city is doing big things, and I'm gonna give a shout out to a lot of the people that support me and that got a lot of things that are going on in the city. I want to give a shout out to my my homegirl Gigi, my little I call her my little sis. Make sure you go check her out. She's a nurse. She's doing big things over there at her company, and I don't want to mess it up. But here, I'm about to actually look it up. So I want to give shout outs to to some of the black owned businesses throughout the city in Detroit. And I start off with you, Big Ken. You got your own landscaping company and crew. You get out there and you provide for the city. So we just gonna talk about and matter of fact, I start off with your wife. Go ahead and mention her company, give her some shouts out. That's what we're gonna talk about for the next 5 minutes before we're gonna close out. We're gonna give some shout outs, to the people, to the hardworking people, to the black businesses in the city. You know what I mean? So let me look up some of my people, and I want to be direct on their businesses. So go ahead here, go ahead and shout out your wife businesses, plug her in, so people can check her out.
Shauna Lynn, Shayla Lynn's Ladybug, 313. Yeah, she do weddings, bridal showers, anything of that nature that she can help you with. She can and she will. You can get with her on any of that types of things of that nature. I can't sit up and say everything that she do because she do so much in that. But yeah, she's like a guru
Like
in that
yeah,
field.
a guru of
Yeah,
party planners and
yeah.
things like that. I want to, and I also want to give
Definitely a party planner, an event planner, and all of that.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely
So
get with Shauna Jefferson on that. If you
yeah,
need any type of party planning, decorations and all that, she's multitask and things like that. She'll definitely get you, bring your dreams into fruition, with her skills. So another, I want to shout out my sister and my brother-in-law. Well, my brother, I should say. I want to give a shout out to their business. It's Mr. Inflatable. They doing big things out there in the city too. Definitely get with them. If you're looking for party planning, also, inflatable houses, party houses for the kids, and even for adults. Make sure that you get out there and check them out. And it's all about trying to spend money and get with your black businesses in the city too. That's what it's about. And I also want to give a shout out to
networking with
Geneva.
our people out here. We got to do that. We
Yeah,
got
we
to
got to support
network
our
with our
businesses.
people
So,
out here.
so
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing right here in this little segment. I want to give a shout out to Geneva Queen Gigi Taylor. She's over at Sculpture and Spa Wellness. Get with her. If you're trying to get your body in shape, she'll get you together. She does the lipo. She can hit you with the B12 shots and all that. Things that's good for your body. So make sure you get with her.
Most definitely.
Go ahead, Big Ken, if you got anybody else that you want to shout out. So again, Mr. Inflatable, go check them out. Sculpture, Spa, and Wellness. Go check them out. Let me if there's anybody else who won't forget, y'all come on in here and definitely, put your businesses in the comments, so people can check them out. But yeah, Big Ken, if you got anybody else businesses in mind that's black owned business in Detroit that you want to, put them in and plug them in, while we're talking about it, but man,
I can't think of the business name right now, but they right there on Livernois in 7 Mile area. They got cakes and ice cream and pastries and all of that going on. Her name is Lynn. Everybody over there know her. I can't think of the name of her business right now, but Lynn and Dre. Give them a shout out and go show them some love. They right there on Livernois and 7 Mile. She
okay,
got some of the
that's what it's
best
all about, man.
cakes
It's
and
all
pastries in
about
the
your
game.
black-owned businesses, making sure that you support your peoples before you support other peoples. Make sure you go out and spend some money with your peoples. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's let that black dollar circulate. 5 or 6 times. Through our hands before we just let it go. To our counterparts. Without spending money with your peoples. So like
Yeah,
I
let
said,
me go ahead and plug it's called the Avenue of Fashion right there on 7 Mile and Livernois all the way up to 8 Mile. All those are black businesses. So if you want to support a black business, there you go right there. I'm plugging them. Everything on Avenue of Fashion right there between 7 and 8 Mile and Livernois. And you was just asking about good food. We got a little strip mall that's all black businesses pretty much. Right there on 6 Mile before you get to Livernois. They got a nice little strip mall right up in there where you can get. It's an eatery where you can get. Everybody know what I'm talking about. They got all
Okay.
type of food that you can go in there and experience that's different. So
Okay.
yeah,
And that's
yeah.
what it's about, man. It's about the city. Yesterday was 313 day. We just sitting here chopping it up. About the city, talking about things, about the city, what to do, places to eat, how you spent your day, and things like that. And I got one more question I'm gonna ask you, Big Ken. What's if you can change one thing about the city, what would it be?
That's a good question. It's a lot I would change, but one thing I would change about the city, uh, my people, my black people. Like we got to come together and have our own businesses. I don't mind spending money with other businesses, but I would like to see more of my own people with businesses and spending money amongst one another.
Man, you hit it
So
right on the nose, and that was
so
right. That was one of the things that I was going to say. I would love to see more, more black businesses versus seeing, other businesses in our neighborhoods that's not black owned. You know what I mean? So that's what I would want to change. I would want to change the faces of the businesses, that you see in the communities. You know what I mean? Because the businesses should reflect the people in the community. You know what I mean? So I
correct,
definitely would change that,
correct.
and then and just go from there, man, and just start trying to build the city back up to, at one point, how it used to be. You know what I mean? So
I
that's
don't
what I
think that
would
we
change.
stand nothing wrong by supporting our own.
Yeah, and that's what
Want
it's
to see
about.
our own people being supported. You go out in Dearborn, they support their own.
Exactly, and that's what
You
it's
know,
about.
you
That's
go other
only how we're
places,
going to
they
change our
support their own.
demographics is getting
Yeah.
more businesses out here, and these businesses have to flourish. We just don't want to have a business up for a year and then just go down. We want to be able to put these businesses up and sustain these and these business go on to last forever. Therefore, they're passed down. It's generational wealth. And that's what we want to see. From the black businesses in the city of Detroit. So I think that's one thing, that we should start making sure and recognizing that, on these 313 days, make sure that we're patronizing, not just, the businesses, but mainly, the businesses, the people that look like us. You know what I mean? You
Well,
know what I
it's
mean? Because
313 day. That means it's
it's
80%
for
black
all
and
the businesses. You know what I mean?
it's
So it's the day where you
80%
go out and
black in the
recognize and
city
you
of Detroit.
celebrate,
So we got to
the
support
people of
our own
Detroit.
people.
So that's what that's what it's about. But we got to make sure that we spend money, and we celebrate our own first. I'm not saying don't forget about the other businesses, because they make the city of Detroit too. But we have multiple of black businesses, that's recently opened up with the last 5 to 10 years. So we have to make sure that we patronize and spend our money with these businesses first. You know what I mean? That's what it's about. So what up, though? We got Joseph Knows in the comment section. We just sitting in here talking it up, man. How everybody spent their 313 day. How was your day, Joe? What did you do? Give me your thoughts on on the city of Detroit and where it has come from. From the last 10 years, because we were just talking about how Bellide, how they pretty much just don't reconstructed the east side and got the east side back up, and how they trying to revitalize the city. Give me your thoughts and your comments on that, in a few words, and then from that, we pretty much gonna go in there and close out, Big Ken. So like I said, if I had one thing to change that I can change different in the city, it would be just having more black businesses, more people with businesses that look like us in our communities. You know what I mean?
I would have to agree. I mean, Detroit is 80% black. Why wouldn't we come outside and want to go shop with our own people?
Right, and I want to give a shout out to a good friend, a new friend of mine. Her name is Jen the Plug. She was just on the show not too long ago, and it was something that came up that they were just talking about Atlanta and the other big cities, and this was the difference. I said the difference between like Detroit, between Atlanta and Houston and Detroit, those are just warm climate cities all year long. Imagine if the city was warm all year long. Can you imagine what the city would be like? I think it would be just as big, just as great as Atlanta or Houston, if we were warm weather all year long. You know, so that's the difference, I think, you know, but I think that what makes Detroit a greater city is having, you know, multiple weather changes and climates, you know, because in the wintertime, we like to bring the furs out, baby, and the minks.
Yeah, we get real freaky with it in Detroit. We got 4 seasons, so we could dress how we want to dress, and other people can't do that. You know, they can't pull out their minks and the gators and the stuff like we can. So,
Exactly. You know, so that's what make Detroit a great city, you know, different from any of the other cities that, you know, a lot of people talk about like Atlanta, Houston, a lot of the you know, the bigger cities. Those are cities where, you know, it's pretty much warm weather all year long. You know, so imagine if, you know, Detroit was a warm weather city all year long. You know, I think you would have a lot of entertainers and stars that would, you know, kind of would come here in vacation, you know, like how it would pretty much be like a, you know, a Vegas, you know, because we got the casinos and things like that, you know. So, but it looked like Big Hen jumped out. But yeah, man, I just want to come in and chop it up. The comment section is open. I just wanted to see how everybody spent their 313 day. You know, it's all about the city. You know, it's all about patronizing the business and just having, you know, like I said, just patronizing and having a good time. And you know, hold on, here come Big Hen showing up for the city. There we go, Big Hen.
I'm back.
Yeah, now, what were we at before you went out? What was you saying?
No, I was just you was talking. I didn't.
I
I
forgot.
just
But no, man, you know, that's what it's about, man. It's about you know, it's just about celebrating the city. Um, you know, the east side, the west side, you know, which we have, you know, other sides, you know, but you know, mainly people just, you know, talk about the east side and the west side. You know, so we pretty much covered the sides, the east side, the west side. We talked about Chandler Park, Rouge Park, you know, certain things like that, man. You know, the food of Detroit, you know, we're known for having great soul food. We're known for having great Greek food, you know, and just all you know, just a multi cultural type of you know, places where you can go and eat different food, you know, so it's a good thing. You can eat from Mexican to African to, you know, soul food to, you know, just regular Chinese food and things like that, you know. So the city, man, has a lot to offer. So, you know, 313 is a big day for the citizens of Detroit.
no doubt, no doubt. I love my city.
And I guess my last question to you, Hen, what side is the best side?
I'm a Detroiter. That's what I'm gonna
Okay.
say. I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna hold it down like that. I'm a Detroiter, but you know I've been on the West Side my whole life. So if I had to ride with a side, it would be the West Side.
Okay, there we go. You know, and you got Vito Corleone. He just made a comment. Nah, baby, I graduated from Mumford High School. I've been living there longer than you've been born, dog. You know, you always got people that want to come in and be funny, make comments. You talking about you from
Right?
Ohio? I went to college in Ohio, baby. Yes, sir,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
sir, yeah.
They don't
You know,
know
but give
no
me your thoughts.
good.
You know, man, what do you love about the city? Since you got jokes, man. People always want to have jokes. Yeah, but man, look, I don't want to hold everybody up. I just want to come in and see how everybody, you know, spent their 313 day. I want to thank everybody who made a comment in the comment section. I want to thank your homeboy Joseph Knows. I want to thank my homeboy Vito Andalonio out there at Shap hard working, baby. What up, though? You know, but no, man, you know, the city, you know, has come a long ways 15 to 20 years ago from where it was, man. You know, it's all about, like I said, at the end of the day, trying to, you know, patronize, you know, and build this city back up. And the main thing is just trying to make sure that we spend our money and our dollars with the black businesses first. You know, I know 313 Day is, you know, to celebrate everybody in the city, all the business, and just, you know, the whole Detroit atmosphere, you know. But Big Ken, give me your last words. Let everybody know what you got going on and where they can find you.
Find me right here on the What Up Though show, Freestyle Fridays normally. I just want to say to all the black businesses out there, keep doing what you're doing, and I'm gonna try to support and encourage everybody to support black businesses. Let's go.
Yeah, for sure. That's what it's about. You know, and I want to thank, like I said, everybody who came on the show and added their comments, gave your thoughts on the city. You know, that's what it's about. You know, 313 Day. You know, hopefully everybody had a great day, even though the weather was a little windy out there. You know, I'm quite sure, you know, we still everybody rep for the city. And comment down low. I'm getting ready to close up, but I would love to know, what was jumping yesterday, what concerts, because like I said, Peasy and I think, the rappers got together and they threw a concert.
Yeah, there was a lot going on
I
yesterday.
would love to know how that went.
Yeah,
Video
me too.
Analone. Give me your thoughts on that, man. I know you knew what that concert was about yesterday, but look, I'm not gonna hold you up, man. That's what it was about. It's about the city, trying to represent the city, and y'all did that yesterday. It's another one. It's your boy AAND, and I am out. Peace.